With the crew of Pike's USS Enterprise now revealed for Strange New Worlds, what do we currently know about some of the crew? Some characters are complete mysteries, but their ancestry might tell us more. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get right into it. At Star Trek Day earlier last month, we got a promotional video for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the new live-action Star Trek series coming in 2022, featuring the adventures of Captain Christopher Pike aboard the USS Enterprise. The video showed us not only the cast of the show, but who they might be playing, from Samantha Pike all the way to Christine Chong playing La'an Noonien Singh. In this video, we'll be breaking down what we currently know about the Noonien Singhs and what we might expect from this new character in the series going forward. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from myself and the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. So as stated, we don't know anything about this new character, La'an Noonien Singh. We have met a Noonien Singh before, so let's start there. Noonien Singh was the surname of the infamous Trek villain Khan, who was a eugenically augmented human who came to prominence during the late 20th century on Earth. Khan became the absolute ruler of a quarter of the world's population. Khan was the ruler for roughly 4 years, before the forces of man drove him and his augmented followers in a period of time known as the Eugenic Wars, and eventually Khan and his followers fled into space, on board an interstellar sleeper ship known as the SS Botany Bay. What is interesting is that the records of this period are vague, and presumably a lot of information was destroyed by the fleeing augments. Surely if Khan sired children and left them behind on Earth when he and his cadre of augmented brothers and sisters fled on board the Botany Bay, they would have gone into hiding, or assumed other identities. But if they did assume other names, then why is our Noonien Singh still possessing that surname? Obviously, Starfleet as a whole cannot find out about La'an's genetically engineered past, if she is indeed a descendant of Khan. We know from Star Trek Deep Space Nine that known genetic engineered individuals are kept confined at facilities. Noonien Singh versus Noonien Singh. Strangely enough, the Noonien Singh name is not wholly unique in Star Trek, as we know another very well-known family with a remarkably similar name. The Noonien Singhs, otherwise known as the family that eventually created the Sung-type androids, with Data being one such android. This could mean that with this style of name being so similar in the Star Trek universe, La'an could just be a random person who coincidentally has the same name as Khan. But as this is written show and not history, surely it is intentional that they have the same name, and it means something. Out of universe, the reason why I have a Noonien Singh surname versus a Noonien Singh name is actually a fascinating story. During the Second World War, which Gene Roddenberry took part in, he befriended somebody called Khan Noonien Singh. So Gene decided to include his name in Trek in order to eventually find his long-lost friend. He wouldn't only do it with Khan, but with Data's creature as well, changing his name ever so slightly, but still keeping the same structure in hopes that Noonien Singh Gene knew to notice and find him. Unfortunately, it seems that Gene Roddenberry was never able to find his long-lost friend. It's an interesting story though. Talking more about the character of La'an for a second, now that we've got behind the surname of La'an and its history, what could this mean for the story and what role could La'an play on the USS Enterprise under Captain Pike? La'an seems like the right fit to be the Chief of Security of the USS Enterprise, not just because of the possible genetic augmentations, but the other red shirts seen in the character reveal for Strange New Worlds do not seem to fit the bill of Chief of Security. Emma, the Anar, played by Bruce Horak, comes from a race of pacifists and is blind. Obviously, it could be one Anar that isn't a pacifist, but I doubt he'd be the Chief of Security due to his physical disability. Then again, that's not stopped anyone in Star Trek before. I mean, Jordan Forge is the Chief Engineer and he's blind. Then we have Lieutenant Enrique Ortiguez, who from a character video seems to be taking a position of helmsman on the USS Enterprise. But what should be pointed out is there wasn't really a position of Chief of Security during the original series, and it was somewhat mixed with Sulu's position of helmsman of the Enterprise, so they could be melding the jobs together to create Strange New Worlds closer to the original series as time progresses. However, during Discovery, when we last saw Enterprise, there is a position of Chief of Security. The previous Chief of Security of the Enterprise was Commander Nan, the Barzan seen in Season 2 of Discovery, but she stayed aboard the USS Discovery as it was sent in the future, leaving the Enterprise without a Chief of Security. If La'an is the Chief of Security, then I can definitely see a situation where if she is an augment, she uses her augmented strength to save Captain Pike and confides in Pike that she is a descendant of the augments. Knowing Pike, he wouldn't report this to Starfleet Command or put it in his captain's log, in order to protect one of his officers, leaving the history of Noonien Singh name to be shrouded in time before being uncovered by Kirk's Enterprise years later. Going off of this point, we also need to talk about Spock. If Spock is serving with Noonien Singh, why doesn't he recognise the name during the time of the original series?
Aren't you dead?
Obviously Spock could at first think it's just a common name, or a coincidence that is not worth mentioning. If Noonien Singh is a common name in Trek, Spock mentioned La'an during the original series when they first met Khan, would be akin to someone mentioning they served with a Smith once. After Khan's identity was revealed, Spock could realise the connection and simply keep it to himself. What would the use of telling people I served as Evil Leader's descendant 10 years ago, when said Evil Leader is currently in possession of your ship? This could even be said by Spock to Kirk between episodes after Khan is dropped off on Ceti-Alpha 5. There is precedent for Spock not saying things which, as fans, we would wonder why he never says, but story-wise it's only logical he doesn't say them, such as familiar relationships with Sarek, Amanda, Cybok and Michael all being a mystery to Captain Kirk. Going back to La'an's roles on the Enterprise, she could also be the Chief of Engineering. Khan was able to understand the workings of the Enterprise by looking at technical schematics within a matter of hours from a late 20th century understanding of ship mechanics. So imagine the capability of La'an if she was the Chief Engineering Officer. She would have full comprehension of a ship and its systems, and be able to fix issues and do diagnostics with ease. Whatever we might see from La'an Noonien Singh in Star Trek Strange New Worlds, augmented or not, we are definitely excited for this new character and what they might do to cement their own legacy in the Star Trek universe. Are you excited for Star Trek Strange New World? Let us know your thoughts on the series down below in the comment section. And are you intrigued by this character? Because as always, if you are talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. Now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.